We are covering Shigella species bacteria, a critical topic for the ServSafe Manager exam. The single most important thing to remember about Shigella is its source. It is found in the feces of humans infected with shigellosis. This directly leads to its method of transmission, which is the fecal-oral route. Exam questions will hammer this point home through scenarios involving poor personal hygiene. Imagine a food handler uses the restroom, fails to wash their hands properly, and then proceeds to mix a large batch of potato salad. That is a classic exam scenario for a Shigella outbreak. The bacteria are transferred from the employee's contaminated hands directly to the food, which is often a ready-to-eat item that receives no further cooking. Pay close attention to the types of food linked with Shigella. The exam loves to test your knowledge of foods that are easily contaminated by hands. This includes salads containing time temperature control for safety, or TCS, ingredients like potato salad, tuna salad, chicken salad, and macaroni salad. Produce that has come into contact with contaminated water can also be a source. Another vector the exam might mention is flies. Flies can transfer the bacteria from feces to food and food contact surfaces, creating another pathway for contamination. A question might describe an operation with a pest problem and an employee with poor hygiene to create a perfect storm for an outbreak. Shigella is one of the FDA's big six pathogens, alongside norovirus, hepatitis A, Salmonella typhi, non-typhoidal salmonella, and Shiga toxin-producing E. coli. This designation is reserved for pathogens that are highly infectious and can cause severe illness. Because of this, the rules for handling an employee diagnosed with shigellosis are extremely strict and a major focus on the exam. According to the FDA Food Code, a food handler diagnosed with an illness caused by Shigella species must be excluded from the operation. This is not a restriction, it is a full exclusion. Be wary of tricky exam questions that try to confuse restriction and exclusion. If a food handler has symptoms like diarrhea, they are restricted from working with food. But if the question specifies a medical diagnosis of shigellosis, the only correct answer is exclusion. According to Section 2-201.12 of the FDA Food Code, this is a mandatory action. Here's a simple way to remember the key points for Shigella. Think of the phrase, sick handlers infect salads. Sick reminds you it comes from ill people. Handlers points to poor hand washing as the main cause. Infect highlights how highly contagious it is as one of the big six. And salads helps you remember the types of TCS foods commonly involved. The ultimate preventative measure is not a cooking temperature, but rather impeccable personal hygiene. Rigorous hand washing, especially after using the toilet, and strictly enforcing the employee illness policy to exclude sick workers are the most critical controls to prevent a Shigella outbreak. For free practice questions, AI-powered explanations, and more exam prep tools, visit openexamprep.com. That's openexamprep, all one word, .com.